Good to be back. It's Tom and Jerry. What did you think?
Very good,
Very good. Out of 10.
fun.
Out of 10.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Yeah, I like it.
Was it that funny?
Yeah, I love.
You give everything a 10 though.
Yeah?
You give everything a 10.
Yeah, because this is nice.
So I've been going to that cinema since I was a kid. Like when I was a kid, it wasn't called Cineworld; it was called UGC. I don't know what's the deal with that company. Whether that's what Cineworld used to be, and they just bought it out. I have no idea, but that doesn't exist anymore. But yeah, it was literally the same building. They made some refurbishments and they've changed it a bit, but from the outside, it looks the same as it did about 20 years ago. So you know, childhood, teenage years, adulthood, I've been going to that cinema constantly to watch many movies. Who knows how many movies I watched there? Because I've watched a lot of movies in that cinema. And it was annoying to not be able to go during the pandemic. It closed down, obviously, and it was something that I missed. I missed going to the cinema, and I also missed going to Arsenal games as well. But it was obviously, in this particular vlog, it's about the cinema. I missed going to that cinema and watching whatever I wanted with my unlimited card as well. So it was good to be back after a long time. It was really good to be back. I think last time I watched a movie at that Cineworld was Bloodshot. Was that what it's called? The Vin Diesel superhero movie, that one? That was just before cinemas closed, actually, I'm pretty sure. I remember watching that. It was okay. And I've come back to Tom and Jerry. So I'm looking forward to seeing, hopefully, if it's still running, Judas and the Black Messiah. There's no show times yet past Thursday, but hopefully they update that and I can go and see that. That would be great. And if I do see that, it'll be this weekend. But yeah, it's just good to be back watching movies again for sure. Cannot wait. I only get 2 days off per week, but at least once a week I probably goes to cinema because, you know, I just love the feeling of watching movies on the big screen. So yeah. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, so I'm back home. So as I said, we watched Tom and Jerry, and well, it was pretty funny. It wasn't like a great movie. They basically mixed animation with real life. They basically made a live action movie with animated animals, and I mean every single animal in this movie is animated, and every person is live action, real life. So that's quite an interesting way to do it, mixing the two. I would have preferred it was all animation, to be fair, but you know, it kind of worked. There's human characters in this. Chloe Grace Moretz is the main character. She's trying to con herself into getting a job at a hotel, and this hotel's hosting a big wedding between two people that a lot of people like, and Tom and Jerry turn up to mess it up. You see a lot of Tom and Jerry fighting each other, chasing each other, you know, all the things you'd see in the TV show, and you see a lot of that, especially at the start of the movie. You see a lot of Tom chasing Jerry. So the reason I watched this movie was to revisit my childhood a little bit, because I used to watch these little shows when I was a kid. So reliving it through this movie was sort of something I wanted to do, and to be fair, it did give me a lot of that. I got a lot of that from this movie, and it was awesome seeing them chase each other, fight each other. You know the thing, it's not really a spoiler, but you know when someone gets whacked on the head and the triangle thing pops up, a cone pops up, to signify that it hurts. I'm not explaining it very well, but you know what I'm talking about. There's a bit of that in this movie, and I thought that, for me, that was the best callback, because I remember seeing that bit so many times as a kid and just laughing my head off. So to see that callback, to see a cone coming out of someone's head and then Tom pressing it down just for another one to grow out, that was iconic. I just love the fact that they did that. There was also some references. There's a reference to a Looney Tunes character. I'm not going to say much else. There's a reference to Batman. Obviously, Warner Brothers obviously make Batman movies as well as this movie, so you can reference other franchises. They referenced Batman a couple times, which was quite cool. Not in like a big way, but still, it's quite cool. There was quite a lot of focus on the humans, because there's this wedding that was going on, you know, stuff like that. There were also other characters from the Tom and Jerry show that you get to see, like there are other, I'm not going to say much else, but there are other characters that you would have seen in the show that are in this movie as well. Briefly, it's mainly about Tom and Jerry in terms of the animals, but there's other animals that you may have seen before. But yeah, every animal's animated. Literally the birds, elephants, there's a tiger, there's a lot of animals, and they're all animated. So it's quite an interesting way to mix it. I don't think it was like a great movie, but it was fun. It was a nice reliving of my childhood in a way. I think the focus on the human side was a little too much. I just wanted more about. I wanted it to center more around Tom and Jerry, and it did for quite a lot of it. But for me, I needed more. Even though we got a lot of Tom and Jerry, which is great. It's great that we actually got a good amount of them in this movie. But yeah, for a movie, it was just okay. It was passable. At times, it felt like a rom-com featuring Tom and Jerry, like the rom-com part being the wedding, and then Tom and Jerry messing it up. You know, it kind of feels like a rom-com featuring Tom and Jerry in a way, which I would have preferred. You know, again, I would have preferred to center completely around Tom and Jerry. That's what I wanted the plot to be about. But a plot centered around a lot of other things rather than that. Tom and Jerry were there to cause a lot of trouble, and there were other animals that cause also some trouble. So yeah, Michael Peña's character, other characters as well, were quite funny. But yeah, the highlight was definitely Tom and Jerry themselves, amongst other animals too. Wasn't the greatest movie, but it's a fun time that I appreciate. So as a rating, I would give it a 7 out of 10. It's not a movie I'd be rushing to rewatch again. I watched it once because I wanted to relive my childhood, and I did that, and it was great. There's an after credit scene if you want to wait for it, but it's not that special. Like, you can leave if you want, but there is an after credit scene if you want to get everything. But yeah, for what it was okay. I just would have preferred it was more centered around Tom and Jerry themselves in terms of the plot, and also I would have preferred it was all animation. The mix between animation and real life, at some points it was a bit jarring, at some points it kind of put me off a little bit. That was a bit frustrating at times, but overall, you know, not bad, not bad. 7 out of 10. I wouldn't rewatch it that much, to be honest. If it came on TV one day, I'd probably watch snippets of it, but yeah, there are some clips that I'd watch for sure, that I'd rewatch, but yeah, this is quite something. This is quite something. So that's it for my little review, I guess, and I'm gonna put this on my second channel as well. So if you're watching the second channel, hope you enjoyed. This is part of a bigger vlog on my personal channel, so if you want to tune in for that, be sure to do so.